What if I told you? Trigon jobs to himself. I'm not making it up either. Yo. What's up, guys? It's me, Lumos Theromax, and of course today I'm here for another dose of shitting on Trigon, okay? Because Trigon is not the guy everybody thinks he is. I made a scaling video about him a while back, and so one of the classic Theromax Corps members manages to hit me up and say, yo, people still talking hot shit on Trigon, so why don't you give me the lowest showings for this guy? The jobbing of Trigon, because this guy has got plenty of it, and for some reason people think that this guy doesn't job. So I'm gonna hit you guys with my favorite jobbing moments from Trigon, and tell me what you think down low. Do you think Trigon jobs? And if you haven't heard of any of this jobbing, definitely let me know down low. But be sure to like and subscribe, as well as become a Theromax Corps member today, and even turn notifications on if you guys want some more banger ass content just like this. But without further ado, let's get to it. So the jobbing that will be occurring here will not only be losses in combat, but will also be just incredibly stupid moments that lead to losses for Trigon, because there is a pretty funny amount of them that exist out there that at least I've uncovered, and I read every major appearance, actually every appearance of Trigon throughout all of comics, so I feel like I should be repping some pretty solid stuff here. But to start off, let's follow up with the OG appearances of Trigon, okay? So in this, he actually succeeds, and he's going to conquer everything. He finally makes it into our dimension, right? But then Raven's like, yo, I'll just join up with you. And he's like, oh shit, okay. And then he just goes home afterwards. Like, he completely fumbles the fucking bag last minute at the finish line, so he can just go back home. Like, that shit literally makes no sense to me. Only Trigon can invent a way to be so poor whenever it comes to his planning, bro, because that's one thing Trigon definitely needs. He needs a fucking planner. There's also a pretty unique scene where he just randomly is relying on technology to blow up planets for I don't know reasons, and I'll admit it's not the top of his jobbing, but like, why would he need technology to blow up planets when he just can do it himself? This shit made no sense to me whenever I first read it. I was like, I get it, but like, why? So this is another one of those OG Trigon moments where it's just like hilariously silly. Now, this is something that is a little bit past just Trigon, okay? But it definitely implies with him. So Raven, who's high on Trigon's supply at this point in time, rolls up and attempts to fold the entire Teen Titans who've been possessed by Trigon. And the funny part here is they just kind of laugh at Raven, saying that the energies that you use are Trigon's. So every time you attack us, we are powered by Trigon. So it just amps us. So I'm not even kidding whenever I say this guy's entire power kit has a built-in jobbing system to where if he gives power to somebody else, he can't actually attack them without amping them. How does that even make any sense? How do you have a jobbing mechanic built in as a fucking demon, bro? What the fuck? And now I know what you're thinking. Well, wait a minute. If all those Titans earlier who are attacking Raven, like, if they're possessed by Trigon, like, how did they break free? Like, Trigon owns them mind, body, and soul, right? Well, it turns out that Raven's mom just kind of waved her hand and, like, out-hacks Trigon here. And keep in mind, these are people that he considers to be incredibly powerful agents of his. So, like, this man can't even out-hacks Raven's mom. Okay, Raven's mom can just turn Trigon's minions against Trigon or the forces of Trigon. And the worst part is, like I said earlier, like, they're immune to Trigon's power. That's the dumbest shit. Like, that makes no sense. Another classic example from the post-crisis era of good old Trigon showing up and actually making it into our reality. He shows up, he conquers pretty much everything on Earth, and he's like, yo, I could essentially just win right now, but I'm gonna take a nap instead. Yo, how do you fumble the fucking bag of conquering a universe by deciding to take a nap last minute? This man literally used the Pokemon move Rest right when he's about to cross the finish line. This is some of the dumbest shit I've ever seen. And you're like, well, come on, man. It's not that bad, right? He just gets defeated. No, he gets fucking killed. at the end of this as a result of how stupid he is. Like, bro, how are you gonna do this? How are you gonna do this? This one's an absolute classic as well. So Trigon essentially throws Titan's Tower at all of the Titans, okay? And one of two things happens here. Either Trigon is jobbing because he genuinely didn't use enough force inside the telekinetic throw of Titan's Tower, or he legitimately thought he could just kill the Titans by dropping Titan's Tower on them with like no force, right? He just thought like the physical force of it would crush them. That's the dumbest shit I've ever seen, bro. You've got like Starfire in here, Cyborg, and like Donna Troy. Like, is Trigon really so inept he can't detect the power and gauge the level of his opponents to the point to where he thinks something as simple as dropping a building on them is gonna kill them? Yo, even in this era, the Titans are on some shit, okay? This is like one of the dumbest moments from Trigon. He actually walks away from this thinking he is like hot shit and thinks he defeated them. Like, it's so bad, dude. It's such bad jobbing. All this man ever does, as I said earlier, he literally fucking dies in this run, and you're like, okay, there's no way. Like, it's just colorful language from the heroes. No, look at the top right corner. This man fucking dies. Like, he's like, yep, Trigon dies. This shit's over. And he's like, no! And the best part, as I said earlier, is this is funny as fuck because his stupid ass actions literally led him to this situation, man. This shit was comedy. First introduction, this man jobs. Trigon also just fails to possess Raven on a variety of different situations. She's always trying to like possess her mind and show up in her body and obviously use that to generate himself into our world. But like, yeah, he fails like all the fucking time throughout post-crisis. This shit is like comedy. Trigon also canonically just gives power to those who kill him. Like, when Raven killed him the first time, he was still giving her strength even as, like, Raven destroys him. Like, it's so funny to think that this man canonically just amps anybody who can kill him. This guy's a perpetual feeding machine. Like, think about that. This one time, the entire Titans crew essentially was fighting Trigon's soul self that showed up to meme them pretty hard. It's funny because it's not even like two comics. I don't even think it's one comic in this run where Trigon's soul self just gets obliterated. Once again, dying and jobbing as usual for fucking Trigon, man. This guy jobs so hard. Like, every appearance he rolls up, this man either gets mega nerfed or fucking killed. It's hilarious. It was so bad that this guy here actually had to find a timeline where Trigon could actually succeed. This guy looked through the multiverse and was like, bro, like, I've got to find a way for a Trigon to be successful. Oh no. Speaking of trying to find alternative timelines where Trigon can be successful, I'm not even kidding when I say this, boys. This is one of my favorites. So there's a bunch of time traveling shenanigans that happen in this specific run. And essentially, this guy named Black Beetle went back in time to invent a timeline where Trigon couldn't succeed, and he has to give him prep time to help him succeed. It's one of my favorite things, okay? And then so like Trigon conquers all of Earth and he 100% succeeds, right? And you're thinking like, okay, this is like a W for Trigon. I mean, it was a prep time help Trigon, but you're thinking, okay, well, this is a W. So Booster Gold fucking rolls up against him, and Trigon has problems hitting him with energy blasts after he conquered Earth, bro. Multiple times he has issues fucking hitting Booster Gold of all people. I just thought that was hilarious because like, it's Booster Gold, okay? I don't know how many fucking people just auto-neg the fuck out of Booster Gold by punching his ass in the face. Like, Trigon, how you doing? How you jobbing to fucking Booster Gold? To be fair, he does at least land an attack, and his attacks do fuck up Booster Gold later on, but it's like, bro, come on. If anybody tells you, look at Trigon, this motherfucker is menacing, okay? This motherfucker don't play. Look at this guy, okay? I want you to keep this image in your head. Now, what if I told you Trigon didn't always look this way? What if I told you at one point in time Trigon looked like this? Look at this loser, okay? Look at this fucking guy with his arms crossed and his legs out like he's fucking man-spreading. This shit is funny as fuck to me. And you're like, wait a minute. Why does Trigon look like this asshole? Okay, well, I can W for that. Believe it or not, This is one of my favorite personal Trigon jobbing moments, bro. I'm telling you, it's super fucking funny. Raven basically wanted to reach out to Trigon to see what the fuck's been going on with him, okay? When she does that, she's like, what the fuck happened to your dimension? What the fuck happened to you? Who'd you lose a war to? And he's like, do you want a list? This guy literally just gave his own jobbing list to her. He's like, bro, I got my ass kicked by everybody. Literally thousands of people, bro. That's the funniest thing I've ever seen. What other Helllord would A, openly admit that, and B, have this shit happen to him unless it's like Earth's heroes. But this is a bunch of unnamed people. We never even find out why he jobbed to this caliber. He just sucks, like off panel to an unbelievable degree. So Raven responds to him again. So you really had your ass handed to you. And he's like, eloquently put, this man admitted he got his ass kicked and then said, yo, yeah, I got my ass kicked. She says he got his ass kicked. And he's like, yeah, you just said it more eloquently. Holy shit. Trigon, what are you doing? What are you fucking doing? And he even says here, my realm is a physical extension of my metaphysical being. Desolate. Yo, it's because everything, all his shit got stolen, robbed, fucking destroyed, or blown up, bro. I'm telling you, this is the funniest fucking Trigon jobbing, man. I'll never forget Raven asking, like, yo, who'd you lose to? And this man said, I'll give you a list of people who kicked my ass. And people think this guy is on the level of the presence. So it's not just Raven either, who just does not give a fuck about Trigon, okay? Trigon consistently gets shit on by most of his kids at random times throughout his history. This one to me is like my personal favorite one because his kids completely take all his shit, all the power they're supposed to give to him, all that shit, say we don't give a fuck about you anymore, and they leave him so fucking weak he can't even recover for centuries, okay? At least from his perspective in the phrasing here. This shit is funny as fuck. So it's not just Raven who fucking hilariously styles on Trigon either. His other goony children do as well. Now, let's not overlook one of Trigon's most important aspects, okay? Now, this one will only be jobbing based on opinion, alright? Because at one point in time, this group called the Divine, who he essentially stole the Heart of Darkness from, creates a barrier that doesn't allow him to traverse across the multiverse. He requires him to drag people into his domain, but like, how does that make him? How does that allow him to enter their domain afterwards? Well, he basically has to get them pregnant. Okay, so Trigon just starts teleporting women from the multiverse into his realm so he can bang them. That's right. Trigon is a literal fuckboy because he cannot conquer all the realms unless he's a fuckboy. Like, think about that. If this is the real world and this was any other person, you'd be like, yo, this guy is a fucking fuckboy. What an L. Imagine being a fuckboy because you're not strong enough to actually conquer, like, universes because a small group of fucking losers banished you from there. Holy shit. The Divine aren't even fucking crazy, too. We don't hear shit about them outside of this. This is super fucking hilarious. Another one of my personal favorite complete jobs is he rolls up on the entire Teen Titans crew and he's like trying his hardest to pull a W here. He even mind hacks his Raven and a few of the other Teen Titans. And then fucking Red Robin, okay? Red Robin, the lamest of the fucking Robins, okay? Red Robin rolls up and impales Trigon through the fucking head. Straight through his eye sockets, bro. And then this man's like, yo, Red Robin, you were the most dangerous out of all of them. I knew all along. Fucking Red Robin. And if you think like, oh, that didn't actually hurt him, Trigon literally starts like freaking the fuck out as he impales him through the eyes. He's like, Trigon! Like, it's super fucking hilarious, bro. He jobs so fucking hard to Red Robin. Imagine the list of characters who are jobbing, who are in the God Sphere to fucking Red Robin in any shape, way, or form. Ludicrous. There was also this one time while he was rolling through the multiverse that he loses a fight with this unknown warrior and he runs away from them. He fucking runs away from them. What kind of like fucking loser ass demon runs away from a fight with somebody who's not even a fucking named character? What an L, bro. And this chick was handing him the fucking hands, bro. She is cleaving him up to the point to where he has to, and even blasts her with everything he has, and she's like, yeah, keep it coming, bitch. Like, I ain't afraid of you. This shit was wild. I want to know who this character is. This character should show up to beat his ass more often. It was a big W. Oh wait, that's not possible because he had to wait until she fucking died. What an L. And he was so afraid he let their entire lineage live on. What a fucking loser. Here's another classic instance of a bunch of children and Raven all looking at Trigon and folding the fuck out of him, bro. This was weird because these were a bunch of like knockoff kids. They weren't even like the real deal like Raven too. It was pretty funny. His ass gets thrown in his home realm here. So yeah, it's pretty hilarious. Just another classic case of Trigon not being able to deal with any of his children. Oh my god, here's another classic, okay? This one is like super fucking funny. All right, so Trigon is just essentially a footnote in Wally West's history, briefly being mentioned. Like, out of all the things in Wally's history he looks back on, he's like, oh yeah, and Trigon happened that one time. But you think, like, okay, well, like, maybe Wally West will use defeating Trigon as a W, or at least he tried to this one time, okay? Now, so Darkseid's attacking Earth, and the Justice League's like freaking the fuck out, okay? And it's got a bunch of different members at this point in time, including Ice and Fire over here. And Wally's like, bro, I was a part of the Teen Titans. We dealt with some shit. And they're like, bro, you're from the fucking Kids League, okay? You're from the Kids League. You ain't a big boy. And he's like, yeah, dude, the Titans are fucking big boys. Yo, we faced off with Trigon one time, man. Fucking Trigon. And even the B-tier Justice Leaguers laugh at him and say they've never even heard of Trigon and that he's a fucking big wimp in comparison to Darkseid because they've never even heard of this loser. This is one of the funniest fucking moments ever. And they just shut him up and move on. Like, nobody even discusses this shit afterwards. Imagine being the footnote in fucking Wally West history, and the one time he brings it up as a W, B-tier leaguers shit on him for it. That shit is comedy to me, bro. How do I not laugh at that? Okay, and here is some of the new memes, okay? Here's some of the new memes. So in the new 52, Trigon thinks Bizarro, okay, fucking Bizarro. And to add more context here, this Bizarro is even going more like fucking stupid than normal due to all sorts of fucking context, okay? But just know that this is an exceptionally stupid Bizarro. He rolls up in Trigon's home realm, all right? In hell. And Trigon's like, bro, you're the most worthy opponent I've ever faced. This shit's crazy. Bizarro freezes off his fucking hand. He freezes off his hand, okay? And you're like, okay, well, he'll just regenerate that, right? No, he doesn't. And then it gets worse, okay? It gets worse. Fucking Bizarro flies straight through his chest and rips out his heart, and he dies.
Fatality.
This man dies to fucking a stupid Bizarro. That's even more impressive than losing to fucking normal Bizarro. And like I said earlier, this was in his home dimension of hell. How do people think this guy is him when he loses to fucking Bizarro? What is this? This guy sucks. Okay, now I didn't even plan on doing this one at all, okay? But like, reflecting back on it, like, I have to do this one, all right? Like, it's low-key actually going to be important for me to do this one. Because, okay, actually, I can't even get there. Let me start back over. I've got to start back over from the beginning. There's a story in the New 52 that essentially covers a potential future point in time for the DC continuity. None of these are legitimately canon. None of these were guaranteed to happen. So basically consider this a potential alternative future that never occurred. Trigon teams up with all of the Hell Lords of Hell and even cons some angels into fleeing to his side. And they're like, bro, we might be able to get into heaven. Okay, so these guys are scheming to get into heaven. They roll up with Phantom Stranger, like, yo, we captured Phantom Stranger. Like, all these Hell Lords are, like, jerking themselves off for how fucking cool they are for having to do this. And they're like, we know you have a key into heaven, bro. Like, you're gonna give that shit to us, or we're just gonna torture you forever. And Phantom Stranger says, like, no, fuck you guys. And they're like, okay, fine. We're just gonna torture you till we get that shit. And they try to grab the key, and the key becomes the fucking dog avatar of the presence. Okay? This is the shit that everyone jerks off for him, okay? With all of the Hell Lords there, they all roll up on the presence and they're like, bro, we're gonna fuck you up. It's about time we finally get a chance to fight you. And keep in mind, dog avatar of the presence, not even the real deal. The dog avatar says, well then bring it, motherfuckers. Y'all all acting out of line and I'll put all your asses down if I need to, okay? You're gonna act in line. Phantom Stranger leaves that room that they're in for like 1, maybe 2 pages. After that, the dog president walks out completely unharmed, completely unfazed, and is like, oh yeah, that's dealt with. So like Trigon with all his fucking homies couldn't do shit here. They just jobbed. Like their entire prep time plan to overthrow all of heaven was dealt with by the fucking dog avatar of the presence. L. Massive L, boys. And now, I know what you're thinking, okay? Like, there's been a lot of jobbing on here, and it's all pretty hilarious, I know. But how could it get worse, okay? How could Trigon job any harder than jobbing to the Teen Titans, his kids, other heroes, and pretty much everyone he's ever come across, okay? How could Trigon do it? How could he job? How could he perform any worse than he already has? What if I told you Trigon jobs to himself? I'm not making it up either. Yo, I'm not the kind of man who watches Teen Titans Go content, but I am a man who watches the Teen Titans animated series because I thought it was super fucking banger. They actually have a movie where Trigon actually shows up. It proves he's not conceptual because there's 2 alternative versions that are completely unaware of each other. But worse so than that, the Teen Titans version of Trigon's like, bro, you're a fucking loser. How in the hell could you set us up for such a failure? You're a fucking idiot, bro. How does anybody take you seriously? And then the loser ass version of Trigon from Teen Titans Go just fucking turns to him and says, you hurt my feelings, and eats him alive. Creating Hexagon, okay? And the worst part is, he jobs to himself here, and then fumbles the bag afterwards. Trigon gets the full amp of another Trigon and still fucking loses. This is unbelievable, bro. Unbelievable jobbing from fucking Trigon, okay? In 99% of media, Trigon's still a fucking loser. Okay, but you know what? Just for all you animated fans out there, we're not fucking done yet, okay? Remember in Justice League Darkseid War, or Apokolips War, or whatever the fuck the name of this show was, Trigon shows up as an integral character inside this run. And at first, he possesses Superman to fight Darkseid. And you think, damn, that's crazy, right? But Trigon amping Superman was not enough to fight a Darkseid who'd fought the entire league, okay? And conquered all of Earth. He wasn't enough to do it. Darkseid auto-seals Trigon away. He auto-seals him, bro. This shit was casual for fucking Darkseid, too. He does it during a fucking battle with Trigon amped Superman. This shit was crazy, okay? And afterwards, Trigon's fucked, okay? He has to get broken out by Raven and Constantine. Trigon literally had to be backpacked by fucking Constantine and Raven in this story. And this weakened version of Superman, of Darkseid, who keep in mind has already fought a Trigon amped Superman, which is rough. Like, to be fair, that's rough. He then, at best, rolls up to him and ties him. This man couldn't defeat a weakened fucking Darkseid. L. Like, massive L, especially after all the shit Darkseid went through. Like, come on, man, come on. You can't use this as a W when at best this is a fucking draw. They both just get banished into the nothingness out beyond, whatever dimension beyond their comprehension or some stupid shit at the end of this. And we never see him again. And to be fair, that's pretty consistent. We never see his stupid ass in every one of these animated series afterwards, which just is more proof that Trigon's a fucking jobber, right? He never returns to these universes afterwards. Like, total fucking L. But what about you guys? Did your favorite Trigon L make it in here? I hope so, dude, because Trigon just fucking sucks. Like, I ain't gonna lie. I wish Trigon was viable in any shape, way, and form, but it seems like every time he shows up, he just blows. The one time that's an exception is the Injustice universe, and guess what? In the Injustice universe, he did fold the league, but he still sucks because at best he got a tie, okay? A tie for an ultimate demon lord is an L, in my opinion, especially the way people carry or try to make Trigon sound. So hopefully we had all the best Trigon jobbing moments. For all you fans out there, big shout outs to my boy Fef, who canonically has sponsored a ton of my content. And as a part of my contract with him, I have to admit the Comp Jason would fuck the shit out of Trigon, okay? Trigon would get auto-negged by good old Comp Jason. That's right, you heard it here first, boys. But we're gonna let you go here. Be sure to like and subscribe for more content in general. And if you guys like my style of jobbing videos, then definitely feel free to hit me up on Discord to see if I can hook you up with my personal favorite brand of jobbing for that specific character, because I feel like I do this in a very fun and unique way. And with no further ado, become a Theromax Corps member down low, and we'll see you next time. Later, Lanterns.